So I take up the chairing, but I take up also my talk together with Alessandra, who is Italian and started to work with us a few months ago as a scientific officer for this project. So the idea of this session is to discuss about what is the rolling review requirements, why more or less we need it. In one sense, we need it because WMO is requiring the ocean application to stand up and do that, and so is GCOS, and under the GCOS responsibility. And also, we want to provide a guidance on how, because as I will show, for the first official ocean application that have been chosen, but the way or how the process has been led is a little bit kind of homemade by each group. So we want to be more robust and build a guidance, a methodology, and a guidance to that. And so is what we will be doing in the project. But before expressing that, so this is what the first task of WP2 will be doing, WP2-1. And then we will see how the ocean application in the project have been trying to assess that from a bottom-up point of view. So there is the top-down, so WMO requirement to the ocean to stand up, and the bottom-up is the ocean or the nations standing up to provide information on that. So actually, the rolling review requirements exist. You can see the rolling review requirements is a process that exists, essentially has been initiated for the numerical weather prediction. And it is very useful because provide a systematic, well, at least it wishes to provide a systematic and transparent process to support the high-level design and evolution of the WMO Integrated Global Observing System that is called WIGOS as acronym. And now there is a vision aligned to 2040 for this WIGOS and the rolling review requirements. So this rolling review requirements, the acronym is RRR, so it is easier. The process compiles information about the requirements for observation, and these requirements comes from the user of this observation, and initially were the operational center for numerical weather prediction. Then we need to assess the observing system capabilities to address these requirements, their cost effectiveness, and draw an expert and impact study to provide a guidance on the most important priorities for addressing the gaps between requirements and capabilities with consideration of WMO priorities that now is becoming also GCOS priorities because GCOS has been asked to take up ocean applications in this process. So the RRR process is defined by the manual of the WMO Integrated Global Observing System that you can find in the WMO webpage. So the integrated global observing system of WMO with its vision show that the user that can be numerical weather predictions or ocean predictions or fisheries or whatever you can think about users emit a kind of questions to the data they need. And then, so there are the observing capabilities for the ocean are more or less LAS plus other networks. And then a gap analysis need to be done. And this is the statement of guidance. And then there is an implementation plan because some priorities are taken up by the nations in WMO and said, okay, we need to observe more of these, and then therefore we have an implementation plan. And then there is this long-term goals in a plan to see how this system need to evolve with time. And then so this implementation plan need to be implemented by the program of members states and agencies. So this is for space and for in situ, and so this is the general process. So the RRR process has application areas. Climate was one, together with numerical weather prediction, for example. And this application area describes homogeneous activity for which is possible to compile a consistent set of observational user requirements agreed by community experts working in that area. So it's very precise. There are order of application areas, and these owners for what is coming up as the ocean is GCOS the owner. The point of contact in these application areas, there are different areas. So for the ocean, there will be different areas, and there is a point of contact for each of one of those. And this process has 5 steps. Review of user requirements for observation, review of the current planned observing system capabilities, the critical review, that is a kind of the review that goes really offsite, and means the community stakeholders that are providing this review is a public review. Then there is the statement of guidance, and then therefore the high-level program for evolution of the global observing system. So this is how it looks, these requirements. This is collected in OSCAR, and OSCAR is the acronym for the Observing System Capability Analysis and Review Tool. And this is also on the web site of WMO on that address. It is organized by application areas, and it defines the different requirements for each variables: horizontal, vertical, and temporal resolution, timeliness, uncertainty, stability. And it is organized, these are organized with a maximum, the goal, the breakthrough, and the minimum, so what minimum need to be observed. And these are the 3 colors. For each variables, you have these 3 requirements for every requirements in resolution, spatial or temporal, and you have also the uncertainty. What you have the sources, the general comments. What is a little bit missing is the best practices, and probably this is what we will be also coming in during the 3 years process for our project, and so we will have time to discuss that. So now there are more than just space weather application, atmospheric applications that were the originals. Now we have oceanic applications, and these are the 7 applications that have been chosen by WMO and a little bit discussed within GCOS, and that have been ongoing, the building up of those since 1 year and a half, 2 years. So we have ocean forecasting and real-time monitoring. And so when you have a star, this is our panel that is responsible in GCOS, the Ocean Observation for Physics and Climate. Then coastal forecasting, oceanic climate monitoring and services. This is more or less what GCOS has been doing in at least OPC in the years. Then there is also tsunami monitoring and detection that is more IUC dependent, marine environmental energy response, marine safeties, and ocean BGC cycles, and this is IUCCP is responsible for that and has started to work on it. So we are, these 5 steps have been followed to build these 7 application areas for the ocean, and we are very soon there will be a release of the statement of guidance that will go for review outside the system with external reviewers. So this has been, the official one has been built a little bit with each of these 7 application areas, has been building it a little bit like they were thinking about it. So the idea is now to provide a guidance for whatever application will be in the future, to be more robust and have some methodologies and best practices. So this is what we aim in WIPI 2.1 to provide to define. So the title of our task is define the rolling review requirements, process, approach for the essential ocean variables, of course physical because we are in the physical project, and provide a guidance. So we will be working with the different ocean application and try to define these processes with the best practices. And of course, interacting with the European framework, so Eurogos, EUS, the marine framework. And ideally, at the end of the project, we will be able to provide really a written guidance on that. But how to do that is Alessandra that is taking up. And for the moment, we have identified a two-step process on that.
Hello. Yes. For our work, the first step is we developed a standardized questionnaire about the requirements for the application areas. This questionnaire is organized in 4 steps. The first part is, of course, an introduction about the rolling review requirements, WMO, WIGOS, and everything we have been listening to this in this presentation. And there is a part with the instruction to on how to fill out the questionnaire. The second part, this is an example ocean certification. So there will be some application areas that will be suggested, and the people who compile the questionnaire can choose the one they will be talking about, and they will be saying if the description of the application area would be appropriate, or they can suggest any modifications. There will be then the table 1, that is the main part of the questionnaire, and is organized as the OSCAR requirements. There will be some columns. In the first 2 columns, we will suggest the essential ocean variables and their subvariables. And then the contributor will compile it. So on the third column, they can say if the variable of the subvariable is essential for that application area. If it's not, they can put 0 and go on. And then if it's important for the application variable, they can say why. And then there is the part about the requirements. So the extent, horizontal, vertical, and temporal. And they have to compile it, putting 3 values for each one. So the goal, the breakthrough, and the threshold, the one where Sabrina was explaining before. There is then the part about the resolution. Also, it's horizontal, vertical, and temporal. And then a part about the data, so timeliness, uncertainty, and stability. And then there is the last column about the references. And of course, there is a last part about general comments. So that's the organization of the questionnaire for now. And the next step will be adding the best practices for the rolling review requirements and this questionnaire that is just about the first step of the rolling review requirement. We will be working about this with Jay. We will put best practices about compilation responsibilities, collaborative entities, content specification, also about the table, and how to communicate and to who the outcomes of the rolling review requirements.
Yeah, just last point. So we will be interacting, of course, continuously with GCOS, GCOS, and WMO, and also with you